Folks, SeKo Starcraft here, bringing you a series between First and Lillekanin. Now, doing a little bit of hype with Lillekanin here. He's Grandmaster Terran, funky, strange builds. Love the kind of style he has, but he's going up against First. It is a best of three series. I don't know if it's either that I just pulled it off of the internet, or either that three ladder games that you guys played back to back to back. But I think it was a series. Maybe go for SC2 or Team Story, something like that. Who knows? But I'll speed it up slightly at the beginning here. Protoss versus Terran, three-player map. I'm just so not strong when it comes to fighting Protoss that it's hard for me to even say if this map is favored one way or the other. I generally don't like this map because I think that the thirds are very open. It lends for really strong two-base play, and Protoss right now are just still really thriving on the two-base all-ins, 7-gate blinks, and things like that are really tough to deal with, particularly Zerg players. I feel for them. And maybe a lot of people would counter that Protoss has to do that because if it goes late game and it goes into Swarm Host, there's no way to beat it. Still say that it's difficult for a lot of people in the early and mid game against Protoss. First is scouting. Reaper is on the way, so it looks like a fairly standard opening from Lillekanin here. Reaper will come over and see what's going on. Cybernetic score expand, standard against the Terran. This matchup hasn't changed too much. Every now and then you might see a gas that's open from the Terran, but the scouting information is so important. The two-base all-in builds are just so good right now. That was probably the most convenient kill that Reaper could have got on the way out. And straight into Reactor, actually. That's a little bit different. I've actually seen this out of a few people, though, to go into... I think 4GG was doing good with that. Going into Hellions with a drop. Build your factory and your starport right away. Drop some Marines in the back. Pull things out of position. Fast Stargate here. Very fast Stargate, actually. It's after expansion. The Reaper will see that. Let's see if the Reaper can get down here and scout what's going on. And he does. And it's scouted. Will the Reaper get killed? Oh man, that's close. One more shot. So a delayed expansion, whereas Lillekanin's got his down in time. The factory's on the way, and there's two ways you can deal with this. Oh wow, big supply block right now from Lillekanin. Pretty unfortunate. That supply depot was still a ways off. Where's the Stargate's about to finish? You can go for Widow Mines. He's going to throw out an engineering bay, because I think out of desperation he has to at this point. But that Oracle is going to be across the map here really soon. And probably he's going to have to rally any workers he makes into his main. Otherwise they'll just get sniped off. There is the Widow Mine going down. Bunker at the front. Orbital going on this side. The beauty of doing that is, that's why I encourage people not to pull a bunch of workers down to start saturating this mineral patch too soon. Very hard to defend both areas. Stalker out of the front, only 2 Marines here to deal with it. And they're pathing like idiots. Will the Reaper be able to take this down? He might. Oh. Bunker finishes. But it did cast a bunch of its energy to be able to do that. So we'll see how much it can really get done inside of the main. Turret is already finished. Yeah, see, casting this pulsar beam. Ooh. Spots that Widow Mine. That's why a lot of people hide that Widow Mine. Pro players are pretty good at understanding where it's going. Is there no starport down? Am I just not seeing any starport? Kind of strange. A lot of times you do this opening so you can go straight into a starport, so you can go for dropping of your Widow Mines. But by the time I got there, Robo was already finished. More gateways going down. Very late Nexus, as I had said before. Units-wise, Terran player is only down by 2 workers, so he's going to be able to start powering those out pretty good here with double mules as well. Cheeky bugger. Wow, sweet spot. Man, Oracle control at the... Oh, man. I was going to say, the Oracle control at the top level is just disturbing. How good people are with keeping these things alive. That's a little bit more of a tricky spot, I think, for putting that Widow Mine. Now that the turret is in place, you might as well get creative. Reaper is out. Really just want to see the expansion, but at this point you should be pretty sure that that's the case. Twilight is going down after Robo. +1 is started up. Likely going to be some 2-base action here is kind of how I feel it. The way I've always kind of looked at protoss, I mean, it's different at the high level versus the low level. But it's either I'm getting out a tech so I can take a fast third, or I'm getting out a tech to really go for some heavy pressure. Ooh, does get that Oracle. The Oracle got it. I think it paid for itself. He's going mech. I almost didn't notice that. I loves me some mech against Protoss. It's just really tough. A lot of people don't expect it, know how to deal with it. The strategies I've seen that work well for meching against Protoss, case in point to that fast third base, is to get out a lot of Hellions. Lots of Blue Flame Hellions, so you can cleave through a lot of the... Does he see that out there? No, he doesn't know that it's a third base yet. But hopefully he'll go and scout soon. These Marines are going in position to check. I was hoping those were 2 more Stargates for a second. Big gateway push. And this is what I find frustrating about playing Protoss sometimes, or particularly watching a high level, is that they can go get this third base, get all this production, all these units out, so much economy, and so they can have a great economy, expand, and tech up and build a great army all at the same time. I mean, it's a bit of a tightrope if you do it wrong, and let's say the Terran player was going for a really hardcore 2-base bio push, you know, you'd be in a tough spot. But at this point, Protoss player knows what he's up against. He's just taking his time. If we look at the units, he's got 4 Stalkers out and a sentry to his name. I think that was a hallucination that got pulled over, which was clever. I mean, he did a lot of damage to these. It's kind of a funny thing to think about, that you could pull some Widow Mines into friendly fire damage. Of a Warp Prism on the way, I think this is really smart. With Terran Mech, it is extremely immobile. And so therefore it's pretty effective to go for stuff that's going to pull them out of position. I mean, as a meching player, what you really got to do is throw down missile turrets everywhere to protect yourself against this junk. But you would need to have a third base pretty well saturated before you can really afford to do all these things. You know, 4 factory, upgrade, and starport. Pretty tough to do on 2 bases. I know, I've tried. Hellions moving out, lots of +1 Stalkers in position, +2 will be done soon along with charge. Blink is already done, so these Hellions probably aren't going to get much work in. 0-0 Hellions. Scan doesn't tell him too much interesting things. He gets a chance to see that there's another Stargate on the way, as well as the upgrades in the Twilight. A good way of dealing with mech sometimes can be to do things like Void Rays. Particularly in the early game, because it takes a lot to afford Thors and lots of Vikings while you're trying to get out enough tanks and Hellbats to stay alive. I do like mixing in the Ravens. I think Ravens are key to this matchup. And even a Banshee in there as well. Banshees with Cloak, the DPS of those units is sometimes just a nice little addition to your attack. Protoss player ahead a chunk on workers right now on the 3 bases. Good vision. Threw away those Hellions, didn't really get much done. This Immortal would have cleaned up a lot anyways. If we look at the vision of First, like you can see his mini-map is so well covered. Like he's got the Warp Prism down here, pylons kicking around in all the bases, all the angles. He can see anything coming across. And I mean, yeah, it does really come down to Lillekanin just wanting to turtle up because he's playing mech. You can see there's very little anti-air at all in here. Phoenix is on the way, and there's going to be almost nothing to contend with those. You need to be building Vikings as a part of your mech going against a Protoss player. Well, I guess he does have some Marines in there. Forgotten about those. Blink Stalkers getting you what damage they can. Might as well. They can get out of there pretty fast. Widow Mines on fast and everything. Look at this damage just getting in by First here. Just backing up slowly, shooting as he goes. Picked up so many free units. Well, he's taking a little bit of hull damage, I suppose, but pretty much free units. I was going to say, I was wondering if he's not going to siege his tanks for a second there. point defense drone is keeping the photon overcharge at bay, but at the same time, there was a big drop of zealots in here. Well, I don't know if there's a big drop. Where's all the rest of them? Did they run away? Might have gotten sniped down, hard to say. Phoenixes are actually getting cleaned up, believe it or not. Are these guys blue flame? I'll have to check and see when something attacks them. I don't remember seeing he got blue flame. +3's about to finish up. He's probably going to wait for that to happen and then push. Oh, he's actually going to hit there just before +3 goes down. Blue flame no, are these? Yeah, blue flame Halibats once again cleave through so much when it comes to the zealots, but yeah, props to first. He spotted his up against. He took the whole map. He took all the tech. He took all the vision. That he played that right. If you got an opponent that's just going to turtle up for a while, take everything you can and get further ahead. Game 1 goes to first.